All right. We are here and we are live. I'm excited to announce our new YouTube channel, Pro Tips Live Masters of Volume Photography. So yesterday, Matthew the Body Kemet Mueller called me out because I had a stupid joke that I regret about his live video that he did yesterday. And he said, all right, ladies and gentlemen, Tim McDonald's going to be going live. He's an expert at Gotphoto and in-house production workflow and all this other stuff, shooting JPEG. He kind of called me out and said, you're going to have to go live today. So that's what we're doing right now. But honestly, listen, I'm excited to announce we have started a YouTube channel. It's called Pro Tips Live, Masters of Volume Photography. And the goal is to have discussions and video chats with other photographers in the industry who make an impact on what we do. I want to speak to you know, any one of you guys who have a unique plan to your workflow or posing techniques, lighting techniques, anything that you are willing to share. Because I know a lot of you guys like to keep it close to the chest, which I get it. I totally understand. But do me a favor, reach out to me. I'm interested in speaking with a lot of people. If you just kind of, hopefully on the next bar down here, you're going to see an email address that I want you to shoot me an email to if you're interested in collaborating. All right, protipslivemvp@gmail.com. Just shoot me an email address with your name, with what you're looking to do. There's a lot of people in a lot of these groups, and I'm totally willing to do this. Even if we did like a video chat for 10 to 15 minutes, I want to make this a weekly show on YouTube. So I want to bring as much content as possible to everybody. I want other photographers to bring as much content as possible to all of you, not just what I do. Actually, most of it would be what others do. So if you're interested, again, shoot me an email, protipslivemvp@gmail.com. And then do me a favor, you can head over now, but we haven't started any of the live postings on the channel yet, but head over to the YouTube channel down below. I know that's a hell of a long link, so I'm going to post it in the comments below the video. But that's the YouTube channel. You can head over there now. I'm going to really try and follow the comments that you guys are posting. Unfortunately, I can't read the name of the person posting it, but do me a favor and put your name in front of your comment or question. This way I can maybe address you personally or see who you are. Whatever we can do or whatever you can put in front of it would be much easier. Anyway, any questions about that, shoot me an email, ask in the comments below, but this is what we want to do. We're excited for it. Before any show that we do each week, we'll probably post some introductions to it in all the different groups so you know that it's coming. Subscribe to it. Let's make it grow. We can all help each other. God knows 10, 12 years ago, I was in a place where I had no guidance. I had no idea what to do. Some of you guys are in that place now, and we're all here to help. There's enough business to go around for everybody. So anyway, shoot me an email if you're ready to do this. I'm kind of going to dive right into it. But one of the things that was asked in the other group are I shoot JPEG. Okay, we shoot JPEG in all the jobs. What we do not put an image out that's probably over 5 or 6 megabytes. I know that sounds crazy, but in all honesty, we shoot mostly schools, youth sports, and those images rarely ever go above an 8x10. So if I can do anything that I can possibly do to speed up our workflow or to lessen our data count, or I guess our data space that we have, and I just feel like everything moves so much faster when the file size isn't so large. We also have fairly simple exposures. All of our school photography is usually one light, usually 200 at f5, ISO 200 to 400 or 800, depending on the day. There's really not much into it. So I'm not doing much post-production where I need to pull exposures down or pull exposures up. Thank you, Haim. I just saw that. That's great. But if you read or heard me correctly, I said put your name in front of your comment, not after your comment. Thanks, pal. Anyway, Haim's great. He just made me smile. So we're not doing much post-production. I do not work in Lightroom. The only post-production that I've done is when we import all of our jobs into darkroom assembly. That is when we'll do like a batch color correction, maybe throw a vignette, but that's literally the printer doing it as she's printing the job or as I'm printing the job. We do not do any sort of Lightroom work. So honestly, that's the main reason why I shoot with JPEG. If you have any questions about JPEG, I see someone wrote, yay, JPEG, I agree, fast workflow. Totally, absolutely. This is all new to me, so I'm using BeLive Studio. This seems great, but it may be a little hard for me to follow the comments, so bear with me if you can. Any questions about JPEG, feel free to ask, shoot me an email separately, whatever you want to do, but that's literally the only reason. I don't see a reason why I would have to shoot RAW. Even just the conversion alone seems like it'd take a long time. especially when we shoot jobs like with Gotphoto. We're shooting QR cards, so there's a lot more images. If there's 300 QR cards, you're adding 300 images on top of the multiple poses that you're taking. So moving on, we're going to go down to Gotphoto Workflow. And this is important to me because I've worked with Gotphoto for almost 2 years now. They're a fantastic company. They provide fantastic support, and it's probably the best shopping cart that I've seen online anywhere out of all the companies that I've looked at. Again, this is just my opinion, so please go look for yourself. But also on the back end work, setting the jobs up, the coupon incentives, the email communications, and the SMS communications is just top notch. I can't say any better things to say about Gotphoto. So briefly, I wanted to go over our workflow. So we've shot everything with prepaid order forms. Now I'm just talking about our schools, particularly elementary schools. So everything was prepaid order form. It went home to the parents ahead of time. The kid brought the little form back with them on photo day, handed it to the photographer. We put barcodes on it from darkroom, put image files on it, which sounds crazy. And then we just scanned them right into darkroom, and we picked the best. We took 1 or 2 pictures or how many we needed, and that was it. That being said, that is an extremely manual workflow, if you ask me. There's a lot of paperwork involved. There's a lot of pulling money out involved. There's a lot of physically printing the picture, sending the packages through, cropping the images. Cropping is a big deal. So as we were growing, I needed to adjust our workflow to account for our growth, and I needed more automation in what we were doing, which brought us to Gotphoto. So I was very leery about moving over from prepay into our online private galleries. So basically what we did was, and I'm going to try and share my screen in a little bit so you can see. I'm going to bring up another screen, and please, if I lose volume or if you can't hear me, please let me know. Do you guys see this split screen? So you can see this registration card over to the right-hand side. Is that possible? Anybody? Because I'm just going to keep going. Anyway, so this is a custom registration card that we've built with Gotphoto, and they are automated through Gotphoto. So you can see the student's name, you can see the homeroom, you can see our website, and you can see the access code. You can also see the coupon at the bottom left, and you can see the QR code that pops up there, and our logo and our barcode as well. Anyway, we've built around this. So when we import our job into Gotphoto, we import the CSV file of all the students. We then produce these QR cards in a matter of about 2 minutes, because all you do is click one button and it generates. And now all those landing locations are preset on these cards that we've created. Thank you, Jan. I appreciate that. And we've kind of customized it. You know what I mean? We kind of call it a registration card now, because what we do is we bring this with us to the shoot. Okay, when this class comes out, 1G, or whatever that says, it's a little small on my screen. We photograph the card of the student. Now they're alphabetical, so you can call them up alphabetically, or they can come up however they want. It doesn't matter. So typically what happens is we give these cards to the teacher. The teacher gives these cards to each student, and the student brings the card to us. Okay, we have a poser with us almost all the time. The poser holds the card. We take a picture of it, and then the poser puts the card down. And then we take about 4 to 5 pictures very quickly. These aren't totally different poses. These are just little different looks. Okay, so that may be smiling with teeth, without teeth, a bit of a head tilt. They could have a denim jacket on or off. They could be wearing glasses, and we may not be sure what the parent wants. So we pull them off, we put them back on again, little things like this. This allows us to offer these to the parents. So we proceed to the next kit, shoot the card right here, and so forth throughout the class. Once we are done taking that class's picture, we take these forms, we give them to the teacher, and we express to them dearly, please, please, please put these in the backpacks or the folders of these children. They need to get to the parents, because this is the only way they're going to know that their images are posted and that they're ready to log in and view their portraits. Okay, because you'll see it explains how to register. When the parent gets this card, they go to the website, they put in that access code that you see, because that is their child, and it's going to collect their email and their cell phone and say, okay, you will be notified as soon as this gallery is ready. Now on my end, we take about 3 days before we post these images, and we can see how many parents have registered. So if there's 300 kids in the school, we will see 50 one night, 100, 200, 225. We see it creep up and up and up. And then, of course, once we post the images, once they are ready, our pre-workflow is to crop the images to a loose 8x10 and put a very soft retouching on them to make these images presentable. And now we don't have to do any editing afterwards. Okay, so once the images are posted, the parents will now get an email and a text, and we customize it to their school so it doesn't look spammy, right? If it was Central Elementary School, the subject will read, Central Elementary School, your school portraits are ready. And then the body of the email will say, hi, Tim, please look below, click your gallery, and it will even have a preview of the images in the body of the email. Okay, I feel like I'm going a little fast. I just want to slow down, make sure everyone's up with me. I'm trying to look at the comments. They may be coming in a little bit differently. So I don't know, Jay, Sariana, shoot me a text whenever you want. Make sure everything's good to go. Any questions on this so far? I'll try and look back because there is a delay, unfortunately. So this is our, and actually what I meant to show you on the back of these QR cards, there is an order form. Okay, so if a parent or if a school expresses to us that they want to be able to allow these parents to pay with cash or check, they can do it this way. Okay, if we have 300 kids, honestly, we'll get no more than 5 or 6 order forms that are handed into the school. Okay, they're either handed to the homeroom teacher, to the secretary, whatever it may be, because as you can see, there's a deadline that shows up on these cards. Okay, because what we typically do is the deadline will say, if the shoot is September 1st, the deadline will say September 12th, let's just say. We typically give maybe 10 to 14 days to order. So it will say there's a 5% off coupon, and the deadline is written above and on the other side. And when they log into their gallery, it says, please order for free shipping back to your school and 5% off by this date. Okay, now the whole point of this is to allow parents to pay for free shipping, because what happens is all these orders come into one batch folder on my end, on my site. And once the deadline reaches, we have the option to release that right to our lab, whether we're doing it in-house or if we're using Richmond. We release it right to them, and then they print every single order individually. They pack it in window envelopes, and it comes back to me in one lump sum. So instead of all the parents paying shipping, I may end up paying $20 to $30, whatever it may be, for the box to come to my studio. This allows us to put in our own marketing material, our own reordering information, anything along those lines. They'll leave it open. They'll leave the envelopes open so we can put it in, close it, and then I can personally deliver it, or one of my staff can personally deliver it to the school. If you're not interested in doing that, if you're interested in having the lab direct ship everything, so you don't have to worry about it, they will happily do that. A lot of people will maybe set the first 2 or 3 days at free shipping. They'll obviously eat the shipping cost. Okay, so in Richmond, I think it's around $3, $3.50. And then after that, the parent pays for shipping. Okay, so that's a way to entice them to order within the first couple of days. And then after that, you don't worry about it, right? So these prints do not come back to you. They go directly to the parent. You actually never see them unless there's an issue and they contact you, right? So this is all about automation. This is pulling back on your workflow. This is pulling back on the back end and allowing for more automation, as I said, which in turn allows for more growth. So the more schools we pick up, the more outsourcing we will end up doing to an outside lab, because it allows us to grow, concentrate on photography, scheduling, picking up more accounts, whatever it may be. So again, if I went too fast, that is our workflow pretty much from start to finish, because once the images get imported on our end, these images will then get posted, and the parents will get notified. They have 10 to 14 days to go in, order the pictures. Now they can choose multiple images. They can choose one image. They can order downloads. Okay, we got a question here. The options are endless. There's GIFs. Whatever your lab has basically is going to be set up in your shopping cart. Do you customize your barcodes online or download barcode and do it in Photoshop? So thanks for the question, Roger. How are you, by the way? Very nice to speak with you. That QR code is generated in Gotphoto, and that is related to the student's access code. So is that barcode. Okay, that barcode is there for you if you decided to use fullography and scan these QR cards instead of shooting them. Okay, I like to shoot my cards because they act as an order form for me. Some people have a fullography scanner. That will be another session that we'll do, where you'll just scan that barcode, go ahead and shoot, scan the barcode, go ahead and shoot. And it basically, I'm pretty sure that it puts it in the metadata of the image, the access code. So then it detects it that way. So that's another great way of tagging, where you don't have to be tethered. You don't have to worry about laptops or tablets or wires or anything going down. Because I'm like a nut. Like I stress out seriously with all the equipment that we bring out. So if you look, I can put all my equipment in one small little pile and I can cover thousands of students. It's just the way that I work. I'm fearful. I'm surprised this laptop hasn't even gone down right now. But seriously, I'm just fearful that something's always going to happen. And if I have to bring up more equipment, more laptops, more tethering, something for sure will go wrong at some point in my career, and it will probably be detrimental to me. Again, just my opinion. Everyone has their own, and I respect it. So that's a good question. I don't know who asked it. Do you offer this on your local rec sports programs too? Yana, thanks for the text. I do see a few of them coming in. So I currently use Gotphoto for our elementary schools, our middle schools, our 8th grade cap and gown, our high school seniors, our high school sports. I do want to get into some more job ideas because we have unique ways to use these for commencement ceremonies. We have a fashion show coming up. We have a wrestling tournament coming up. There's a million ways. And yes, we are going to use it for Gotphoto, and I will tell you why. Gotphoto for our youth sports, they're not quite there yet with their templates. And to me, youth sports is a very heavy templated base workflow. We use Darkroom. So we have order forms that come through to us. We do it old school. We email out a fillable PDF to all the people where they can fill it out online, print it. And then we have a sales table set up with 2 or 3 salespeople or 1, however large the job is. We collect our money right then and there, mark and pay, send them into the photographer, and off we go. And then we print it and run it through Darkroom assembly. So no, we don't use it for local rec sports. Maybe that's something they'll get to very soon. Anyway, I'm moving on. I hope I answered those questions. But again, Roger, this barcode, that's all that it is. It pertains to the access code, which pertains to the student's data and name right there. So I'm going to move on to in-house production versus lab production. Okay, so let me get away from here, back in here. So you have multiple options what you can do with Gotphoto, and this was one of the main reasons why we switched over to Gotphoto was the ability to use an outside lab. We print 80% of our material in-house. We run a Fuji DL650. It has 2 magazines. So we have 10-inch in at once. We can have 5-inch, 10-inch, and 6-inch. 10-inch is most of the print sizes, and it should be. You should always look into putting 2 5x7s on a 10-inch, 8 wallets on a 10-inch, 4 wallets on a 10-inch, 8x10, whatever you can do to put on a one-size paper. If you're printing in-house, please try and do that because it will be so much quicker, and you will produce so many more prints that way. I promise you. I learned that the hard way, and we had to rearrange our packages. But we do like to include a 4x6 in our packages, only because it's a traditional standard print. There's a lot of frames out there for it as well. So this is what we did. We moved over to Gotphoto because we provided a batch shipping option for the parents. When the orders came through to us, we collected them, we sent them to Richmond. Richmond printed them, packed them, shipped them back to us. Okay, so that kind of became another employee, and it freed up the time on the machine, so our printer didn't have to worry about any of the Gotphoto jobs going through the printer. Okay. The only thing with this is you have to think about how you want to do this. There's multiple ways, and I will get the questions. And I know Dave, I think that's your name, asked a question about class photos, okay? Because that's always an issue, and it's one of the first questions people ask. I'll spend more detail on that on another session. But in short, the best, I think, in my opinion, the best workflow for class photos, once the class photo is done, I would select the best image of the class photo, whether you do it in the back of your camera, whether you do it on site or in Lightroom afterwards, wherever. Select the best image. If you want to put type on it at that point, it may be Central Elementary School 2020, whatever it's going to be, in the teacher's name and the grade. Do that then, okay? Because you're going to attach that to that album that pertains to the class. So now, if you are doing direct shipping, if you don't want to have anything to do with the production, if you just want to sit back and watch the orders come through, then that's how you're going to do it, okay? Because once that order's placed, Richmond, and again, I say Richmond, but I know H&H, Miller's, Arclatex, Marathon, I mean, Gotphoto's got them all. They got all the big labs, all the big name labs. Talk to them directly, though. Some do direct shipping, some only do batch, but I'm sure that's going to change at some point. Anyway, Richmond does direct shipping. So if that parent places an order for package 1 and it has 4 images plus a class photo, that whole order gets shipped directly to them, okay? The other way to do it is to not include the class photos, because a lot of times you have to put borders on these class photos with the names at the bottom. So it'll say front row, left to right, the McDonald, Sarah McDonald, J Boatwright, whoever it's going to say, that shows up in there, the middle row, the second row. So that takes time. right? You got to get that back from the school. I know there's an app out there. I'm not quite sure what it's called, iSmiles or iKids. And apparently you can import the image with the CSV. You can tag their face and have the teacher put it in so you get it ahead of time. My photo days are crazy. I don't know if I would have time to put that in my workflow. But anyway, if you think it's going to take you much longer to do it, what we'll do is we'll just say we deliver the class photos to the school in January or however it's going to be. So if the 5th grade class of Mr. McDonald, if there's 15 orders, those parents will get shipped their individual picture and they'll be notified the class photo comes in January. What we do is we print the class photos in-house. We run them on a DX100. I think it's much cheaper and it's much easier because you're running multiples of one image, right? So if you have 20 class photos you have to print, that can add up. Some schools we have 8x10s, so that can really add up. 6x8s are a really good size, especially with the border, and it's a really big price difference. That's what we've moved to. Well, it's really an 8x6, but we moved to an 8x6, and we deliver them in January. So the individual pictures are printed and shipped directly to them. The class photos are delivered to the school in January with the student's name. The teacher just gives it right to the student. We haven't had any complaints. I know those photographers do it many other ways. We kind of have to customize it or personalize it for each school. Everyone's different. So there's multiple options. Anyway, in-house production, so that's a little bit tricky. Gotphoto, I want to say, is right there right now at this moment to being able to export your order. So if there's a batch order of, let's say, 200 images, there will be all those images, or 200 orders, but let's say there's 800 images because they ordered multiple images. All those cropped images will be in that folder. Also, it will be a CSV or a text file of all the orders. So you can, with the click of a button, you can run an export. So it export the cropped images and the CSV file as well. With that information, that can get imported right into their Easy Lab software, automated, and will automatically go and print on whatever lab you have. Okay, we have a Fuji GL650 that'll work on the DX100, Noritsu Green Lab, whatever it may be. As long as that software is installed, it will work. Apparently, there's something else coming out that I just can't quite talk about, but I will be able to talk about soon. And it's in a very beta testing mode. So far, it's been successful, but we just can't get to that point yet where we can give it to everyone to try. Okay, it's a big deal because everyone knows you can keep your costs way down by printing in-house, although it comes more with, you got to pack your own pictures, you got to have people in there, but it's kind of easy to get people in part-time. Everyone's looking for a job. Everyone's willing to work 6 to 7 hours a day, at least for 2 months in the fall, whatever it's going to be. Pay them $10 to $12, whatever it may be. I don't know, but that's what we do. So there's multiple options with Gotphoto. You can direct ship it from a lab. You'll never see it. You can batch ship it so the parents don't pay shipping and it acts as incentive. Then you print, then it comes back to you and you deliver it to the school. It really, if you are a 1 or 2 person show, it really makes you look like you can handle thousands of students and you are a large company. When you partner with these labs, when you operate this way, I highly recommend it if you're just getting into the school photography business to do it this way. At a certain point, if you think you can start working with in-house equipment, you will be able to save yourself money. You'll just have to invest a little more time into it or maybe hire people to do that for you. All right, so moving on, some job ideas with Gotphoto. And what do I mean by this? I mean by, when I first signed up with Gotphoto, I went with them for my high school seniors, okay? And as we were doing our high school seniors, we have contract seniors. So if we have 400 seniors in a high school, we're taking all 400 kids' pictures. We bring out tuxedos, drapes, cap and gowns. It's anywhere from $10 to $25 for a sitting fee, depending who the school is or what you work out. That's obviously what you decide. Anyway, as I was working more and more with Gotphoto, I realized the power of it and the tools that it had. And we used to do commencement ceremonies, and it was terrible. There was no way to do it. We would just basically, hi, Facebook user, doesn't have a name. What's your name? Anyway, so, we'd be invited to all these high schools to cover the ceremonies, and we just figured it was just us doing Canvas to provide for the parents. If people ordered a couple $100, that's great. But now what we do is we create a QR card for every student, and we make sure you have to do this on your own time, but talk to the school, find out the order of the names that they call for commencements. There may be 300 graduates, but maybe only 278 are there and walking, and that's all they're going to call. Okay. So the only thing that you can do is either print the QR card for these students And then what you're going to do is, what I do is I shoot the QR code, and then I shoot the student as they go right on stage, shake the hands of the administrator. I've been trying to set up a background at the bottom of the stage just to get another shot of them real quick. You can even do a gray screen or a green screen dropout to put some of maybe their auditorium or something that pertains to their school behind them, just to add to it. Anyway, my point is, I do this throughout the whole ceremony, shoot 300 QR cards, shoot them as they're walking. Now every parent is getting like 10 to 15 images directly sent to their email and to their text, however you set it up, to their cell phone, of just their kids, right? So it's built this gallery, this shopping cart of just their kids. And even if they're ordering 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 40 bucks, $15, this job that used to be $300 or $400 is now over $4,000, over $5,000 for all of our high schools. So it's really opened up opportunities in that realm. Another opportunity is we have a fashion, is proms, okay? We have a fashion show as well. But I've done this with proms where we've basically, I don't have time to bring it up. Next show. I'm splitting the screen here again because we have a similar form, but it's a prom order form, okay? And it says if they want a couple shot, an individual shot, or a buddy shot down here. We mail this to the addresses of all the students who are going, because we can get the addresses of the students, but for some reason, we have a hard time getting only the attendee's email address and whatnot. Now, the point of this is, once they get this, it explains to them to register. So they're going to go register for that job, and it explains to send this card back with their kid to the photographer. So for instance, we had 85 people show up at our prom and bring this form back to us. Another reason for this is I can see how many people potentially are coming for that shoot. So if there's 80 kids coming and I know maybe I have an hour and a half to shoot it, I'm going to have 2 setups, which I did. We had 2 setups, and you can staff the job properly with that. Okay, so anyway, so now we have 80 people interested. We stress to them, it doesn't cost anything to sign up. Please register, do whatever you need to do, okay? But you will be able to view these photos first. And as soon as you talk about that, the parents have no problem registering or signing up. And then the kid comes to us, gives us a QR code, which we literally shoot, and then we take multiple images. We did full length, we did cropped in. We almost did, if there were a couple, we asked if they wanted to kiss each other on the cheek. We thought it was very cute. Now you have freedom and creativity to do all the different poses that you want to do. Especially with 2 backgrounds, you can take a little more time on it. This year's prom went from like $800 to $3,800, or just under. It was a huge jump. It almost encourages me to pick up more proms. Everyone's kind of like, no, proms don't do anything. I got it. Matt the body, he's here. So anyway, it encourages me to pick up more proms, and it just brings me to another event. We have a fashion show coming up. A lot of high schools do fashion shows as a fundraiser. This used to be nothing for me, right? Again, this was a candid event that I would go do or send a photographer to do for yearbook photos. That's all it became, right? So now what we do with fashion shows is we set up a background, because all the boys are in tuxedos typically. Girls are in a nice dress that has been donated from whatever store. And now they come to us, okay? And we have monitors. We just have laptops set up because we've pre-built this job with their QR card. We get a list of the people going. We do get emails from them because they do correspond with the kids a ton. And I tell them, if we want to do this right, I need the emails. If you have cell phones, even better. So instead of having cards with me, because I don't know who's coming, I want to photograph everybody, we just put the card up on the laptop. We do a control search. We search the PDF, their name, and then we shoot the computer screen. And then we go ahead and we shoot. We take multiple poses of them again. And then we have a duplicated QR card. Okay, so in this particular circumstance, we have 3 students that walk down the aisle all together. So I have no way of shooting just individually. What we do is we produce all 3 of those access codes on one sheet, on one card, right? And I have an assistant with me as I'm up in a ladder. I have lights lighting up the arena or the venue, excuse me. I'll shoot the QR codes because they'll call the name. They'll give me the order of how the students come out. Shoot the QR code because now understand it's going to read multiple QR codes at once. Shoot it, and then I just take 30 images of them coming at me down the aisle. They strike different poses. I try and get individual as a group together. So now this parent is getting a posed image in front of a background similar to a prom, and they're also getting the images of them coming down the aisle, which is actually what they really want, okay? Because there's no flash photography, there's no video except us. And we are providing private galleries to these parents, like I said, with post pictures and then coming down the aisle. It's a home run. It is another job that started at nothing that is now thousands, to be honest with you. It's thousands of dollars that come through on each one of these jobs. Okay, and I'll gladly help anyone who has the opportunity to shoot these jobs. It may be a contracted job, but you can definitely make money from it, right? And we have another huge state wrestling tournament that we're going to do, where we're gonna shoot the QR code on the monitor. We're going to use the Lightroom plugin, so we're going to upload it with a watermark attached to it with the logo, kind of like right here, of the event, and there'll be something right down at the bottom, and it goes right into the gallery. And that day, right, they're going to get an email and a text that their images is ready. So as they're sitting around in the arena all day long, these people are here for like 12 hours at a time. They're going to be able to download this flattened image from this official event, really nice rim lighting, main lighting, whatever it's going to be, all through Gotphoto at no cost to me, right? Because it's a free download from Gotphoto. So $15, $20, $25, whatever you want to make it, that's what it's going to be. So that is another job idea that we're going to do. I may go into that more specifically in another show or another session. So anyway, I'm just going to move on here, see where we're at on the agenda. I think we're going to be in the Q&A time, okay? And I pre-wrote down some questions ahead of time that were asked earlier in Matthew's group, and it was in-house fulfillment with online sales, right? So that I kind of covered that real quick. Is once these orders come through, they're captured into our site, and then we're going to be able to export the images and the CSV and import them and let it go. So there's no manual cropping, there's no manual placing the order of each individual item. That's going to be a separate show in itself to discuss. So moving on to the next question. Did you find it comparative or better with sales? So that person's talking about prepay over to online. I was pleasantly surprised with our online sales. We did 12 schools, and 3 of them were prepaid to online, and all 3 of them outperformed our prepaid jobs. Hi, put your name. I can't see names. I'm sorry. It says, hey, Tim. I have a funny feeling I know who that is, though. So kind of forgot where it was. No. So, okay, they outperformed prepay. I'll just show this in the stream here real quick. Okay, this is, let me see if I can get to this. I'm so sorry, people. Bear with me, as I said. So this is an elementary school. Okay, there's 275 students, I believe. Let me just see if you can see this. Do you see this? Okay. So if you can see this, let me know. Feel free to ask questions, but right here is statistics of this job. You'll see that there's 275 students. Now, we did not get email addresses of this job. Okay, we used the QR registration form that we've developed through Gotphoto. Okay, we had 97% of the people log in. That's an insane amount of people to log in when you're doing online galleries or online selling without emails, okay? So we had help from the PTO. Keep in mind, they need to communicate for you. They need to send out reminders. Please look in your backpack or your child's folder. Make sure you register for class photos, whatever you need to do. This is a fundraiser for the school. They should be helping you as much as they can, okay? We had 95% of access code with customers, and then moving down to orders, 239, right? So there's 87% of the people have placed orders. If you look up here, there's a $58 average order. Our sales are $10,099, and this is the bottom line number. Last year, our total sales, or I was told, because it was a new account for us, but this didn't exceed $9,000 in total sales, all right? But if we got an order from every single person, it'd be $36.73, which is almost our average order now for prepaid. Okay, we're hovering around $38 to $36, but now it's $58. And we pulled back on this job greatly, okay, because it was heavily automated. There was no paperwork, there was no order forms, there was no printer to print these jobs. Okay, the orders came in cropped and they were fulfilled in that right. The shipping cost that you see over here is once the job closes, once that deadline hits, the batch shipping deadline, it switches over to a direct shipping. Okay, so the parent can still order. They do not get the 5% off, and they do not get free shipping. They have to pay their own shipping, $3.50, $4, whatever it may be. So that just shows the shipping. You don't pay that. The parent pays that. The production cost, these were some tchotchke items. This job was printed in-house, so you don't see any prints, but this was, mouse pads, ornaments, whatever it may be. That's how much was ordered of tchotchke items. And that, of course, is the fee that Gotphoto pays, which I am happy to pay because we would have put in way more time and way more money into that job if we had to. So to answer your question, I find it better. It's not going to be the case all the time, and I totally get it, but it's just the workflow is so seamless that it makes me not want to move backwards. Every job we get from now on doesn't have an option. They go the Gotphoto route with online galleries, and I welcome it. I have no issue. I have no worry about it. But good question for sure. That was my basically number one question before I switched over. Walk you through your sales process and market photo thing. Okay. So when we use a Gotphoto school, there's not much marketing, to be honest, because we bring the order forms with us. So we have a flyer that we email to the school and to the PTO. We say, can you please post this in your Facebook group? Please email this to the parents. And we're happy to give you a little printed flyer to put in backpacks with the date on it if they request it. Some do, some don't. Again, I'm going to try and bring this up. Let me see how I can do this, guys. Bear with me again. You guys have been great. Y'all smell terrific, by the way. Share my screen. Found it. Here we go. Okay. So we're going to share this. I hope it worked. Show this in the stream. Look at me. Give it a second. I think it's going to pop up. Anyway, this is just a flyer that we use. I really hope it works. There it is. Where'd it go? Okay. So you'll see it kind of shows the multi-poses. It's flashy. It's great. It shows easy online ordering. It shows a 4-step process so they're ready, be dressed and ready for photo day. There's nothing to hand in, and every child will be photographed. Puts the parent puts their minds at ease. All they do is get their child ready for photo day, which actually can be a large task in itself. I have 2 kids, 5-year-old and 8-year-old. So I get it. Your child's going to bring home an access card that explains the order process and provides a link to your own private gallery. Wow, that sounds terrific. Okay, step 3, log in, choose your package, pick 1, 2, or all the images, crop out effects, and have fun and spend money, right? Order all those images, spend $100+, please. And then step 4, order by your deadline to take advantage of coupon incentives and free shipping to the school. So this is a very effective form that goes out ahead of time. It goes out in an email, it gets posted to Facebook, and it gets, if they ask for it on a print, only one school is asked to print it out and put it in their slips. Yeah, so that's our pre-sale marketing. And then of course, once we photograph the job, once we capture their data, we have customized emails that get sent to them. I think we have a series of 7 that go out. We have 2 text messages, one to let them know that their gallery is ready and the images are posted. And then another one to basically, I think it is to say, today is your last day to order photos. And then all the other, there's another email that says your images are ready. And then it says you have 5 days left on your coupon, 2 days, today's the last day. And then of course, there's an email that says your gallery is closing tomorrow or however you set it up. And the parent freaks out and says they're going to lose these images, and you get another influx of orders in. So keep in mind, as prepay, you get so many more orders up front very quick. Okay, with Gotphoto, you get a large sum of orders, slow, large again, right? It's a different setup. Okay, so I have orders still coming in from jobs done in the fall. Okay, and it keeps increasing. Next time you go to check back statistics, you're going to see, holy cow, we had so many people log in, and we had actually a good turnout for orders, and we barely touched the job, and that's the ultimate goal. Not so much the sales, but really lessening your work and growing your company with growth, automation, whatever you can do. Are these templates available? Do you really close the galleries? Yeah, hell yeah, we close the galleries. If they call and the gallery's closed, we have them pay an archive fee, because on my end, there's manual labor involved, and I really don't want to open it up again. And they pay an archive fee of $20, and then they place their order, and it is what it is. It's just the policy we put in place. So come up with your own, come up with something good that works for you. This is what works for us. When you are using Gotphoto and templates, these weren't templates. No, these were custom created by me and my staff and my wife. Actually, she does it all. She does wonderful work. She's watching. Anyway, she created this pamphlet that goes out. She created the customized order form. It was her idea. So again, kind of going backwards. But we came up with this idea because I did not want to have to print out contact sheets, because you can print out contact sheets just like, now we're getting tricky. Here we go. I got it. Look at me. Okay. So this is a contact sheet, right? So these are produced in Gotphoto, again, with the click of a button. We've customized it. So there's a landing page. There's the 2 images that always show, the image numbers that show next to it. We added those boxes. This is something you would print to deliver back to your school. Okay. So if you wanted to do the whole job, print this on color copier, on a laser color printer, anything you want, nice thicker paper, doesn't need to be photo printed at all. And then you would just deliver back to school and have them hand this out, right? I didn't want to do that because I thought, what's the difference? This will go home the same way that will go home. Some people say this could be more effective, because if you maybe wait a week or 2 after the photo date, they're ready for it, and they say, oh, this is a surprise, this looks great, and they preview 2 of the images. You can put a preview of 4 of the images, 6 of the images, whatever you want, you can do. Just understand that the templates you download are basically blank PDFs. Make sure you know where the picture is going to land and the access code and the website, and build all around it. Okay. We added the form at the bottom, so again, people can pay cash or check. That's a big deal. If we went into school and said they're only going to be able to order with credit and debit, that's the only way they're going to be able to order, that may be an issue. Oh, it looks funny. Logo on my head. Sorry. Is that notification automated? Do you get to set up your expiration date? Absolutely. 1,000%. You decide when you want your expiration, when you want your deadline to be. You have full control of that. You decide when the coupon ends. You can tier your coupons. So we do 5% off whatever they order. We have a package purchase mandatory. Okay, you can set it so the package purchase is mandatory, or you can set a minimum order, meaning they can kind of mix and match a la carte items to equal $30, $25, whatever you're going to set it up for. I don't like to do that because some a la carte items may be more costly to you as a studio, so you lose profit on that. So anyway, we have a package purchase optional, and then you have, like I said, you have full control of all this. Okay, you're going to set, and then you can do 10% off, like $75 or more, or free shipping once you reach a certain amount. It's really great. They've just come out with the tiered coupons probably a couple months ago, but we now use them. We use 2 coupons basically for all of our schools. It's really fantastic. All right, sorry, this question's been up on the screen. I haven't touched on it. What are you using Gotphoto for, doing prints without border customization? So if you are going to customize your images right now with Gotphoto, the best way to do it is to do it ahead of time. Okay, so if you want to put maybe a logo at the bottom, I would bring the images into Lightroom and then export them with a watermark showing up at the bottom, because there is a Lightroom plugin that you can send all your images right from Lightroom in, and it'll build albums into Gotphoto. Okay, and then it'll have like a year on it ahead of time. At the moment, there's no automated upselling if you want to add a year on it. We do have it. I think for $5, you can add the year on it, but that needs to manually get done on your end. It's kind of like you set up your own product when you do that. It gets a little tricky, but we do that. Not many people do it, some do. But it's really nothing that I've been concerned about. But for our class photos, as I briefly spoke on before, we would put the names underneath. We put the border on it ahead of time, flatten it, then import it. Okay, so it's almost reverse. Everything gets done ahead of time. That's why class photos are a little tricky, right? A good way to do it is to just sell the individuals online, and then maybe tell the school we deliver the class photos in January. And you can even, if you want to make it easier for yourself, just print one for every student. I mean, that could be a way for you to get into an account. You know what I mean? Just make sure your package prices reflect that. Because they're going to think they're getting it for free, but they're really not. But I know a lot of people do class photos another time of year and sell them separately. So I know some people down in Florida are doing that, and maybe out west a little bit more. But we've done it multiple ways where we've just printed them in January and delivered them after the fact. Sometimes we give a class photo to every student, whether they order it or not. Okay, because at that point, the workflow becomes quicker and easier if I were to print 22 for every student or 15, right? We're talking $1 at the most. Anyway, so that covers that, I think, I hope. If it doesn't, let me know. Favorite, least favorite. This was from Gail Rozier. I think I pronounced your name right. I'm dying to meet you in person, Gail. I love watching all your stuff online. I'm an avid follower of you. I love the live videos you do. I've just like this angle, I've become so close to it. It's been really great. Anyway, so my favorite thing about Gotphoto, I can't just pick one. You know, if I can all encompass, it completely provides the volume workflow for schools that is needed, whether it starts here to creating their galleries, or whether it starts on the back end with automating all the orders and then putting them into a shopping cart. I cannot give you just one. The shopping cart is outstanding. I did a poll in one of our community schools Facebook group, and the positive support that came back was overwhelming. User friendly, the options were great, the add-ons were great. It becomes their own shopping cart, right? Everything is at the click of a button. So now instead of just filling out the cheapest package they can, it's presented to them. If they love the image, they're going to spend a lot more money than what they would if they haven't seen the image, right? If they're so with the image, they may get the cheapest package. If they hate the image, they're not going to order, but they will do reshoot, so you get another chance, right? So you need to be on your A game. I really hate when I see photographers do this, and I don't want to sound insulting, but maybe that shoot is not their best shoot, or maybe the photographer they used really screwed up, and no orders came through, right? You need to be on your A game. All of my photographers are on their A game. Before I got photo school, I always give a brief speech saying, listen, the parents have not ordered yet, so you better make sure these images are great and top notch and great quality. Take your time, get the posing down, get the lighting down, make sure it's right. We're professionals in this industry. We want to make money. We don't want to be the mom who doesn't have a business set up and is just taking pictures just to try and get in the industry. Separate yourselves from the others, especially if you do online sales. If you provide good quality photography, your sales will always be further than your prepaid sales. Again, in my opinion. And my least favorite, I don't know. There's a few things that we can touch on. I would like to see a limit in the amount of poses. Currently, I think, and I could be wrong, but you can allow one pose in a package, or you can allow a multi-pose package, right? But the parent will order any pose that they want. You know, if there's 4 images, they can technically order 4 of those images. A workaround for that is you just charge a little bit more. You know, I think we have a $65 package, which is multi-pose. I really can care less how many images they're getting. As long as you're spending $65, I'm happy. So that's probably my least favorite. You know, there's a few other things that I mean, they've constantly updated their software, you know, as photographers use it more and more, you know, because they're developers, right? They're salespeople. They provide these online platforms for us, and they rely heavily on photographers like myself and other people out there to give them feedback, right? And sometimes you don't know something's going wrong until you run into that situation. And that's when, especially as a developer, you go back and you rework it and you make it right. So just like any other company, they get here, then they go up here, and then they keep going up. Sometimes they fall back, but then they're always going to go up and up, right? So they're commission based. They want us to do well. They want us to make money. They want us to sell images. They're in the business of making money. If we make money, they make money. They have no reason to stop putting out updates. They have no reason to stop working with us. Okay, so other companies out there who don't offer a commission, who may be a flat fee, that's great. But keep in mind, there's not much of an incentive to keep growing and to keep adding on more features. Okay, because the more features they add to make us money, they're going to make more money as well. All right. I saw a couple questions come through here. Can the consumer link their shopping cart with a sibling shopping cart? Brian, perfect question. Absolutely, they can. Right? If you go into, I should share my screen. You know what? We're kind of running a little bit late, so I'm not going to share the screen. But anyway, as soon as the person goes to my website, it says add your enter access code here. Underneath it, it will say add another access code. So if you have 3 kids in a school, you can add all 3 access codes, and it will link it together into one gallery for you. Brilliant. Siblings are a pain in my butt. A lot of times we schedule different days for siblings. One of our schools this year, thank God it was Gotphoto School, sprung on us. It was a new account. They said, by the way, we have 18 siblings for photos. I said, oh, we never discussed siblings. That's great. Anyway, we shot the QR card, and if I knew they were a sibling, we held it, and then we shot it again. So this way, it tagged the siblings into the gallery for that mother or father to see, and then it all changed from there. So what happens is if there's sibling photos, it'll attach itself to whoever of that sibling you photographed the card for, right? And then what you can do is those siblings can be put in separate albums. You can have a higher price profile for them because you don't want it to be the same as what you're selling for the individual pictures. So the sibling photo packages would be higher priced. So it works out great. Good question. What is the commission rate you pay for Gotphoto? It varies. I'm on an enterprise level. If you're going to give them sales, they're going to give you good commission. If you're going to say, listen, we're just starting out, they're probably going to give you the entry level commission. You got to talk to them on that. They'll work with you as you grow with them. They'll work with you as well. Currently, I think I'm in the 8%, 9%. I'm not sure. I haven't even looked. But honestly, if you look back at it, what I pay in the fee, and I know this is an ongoing conversation, is way less than what I would pay or what my time would be to get this job complete, right? And other companies are doing the same thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Gotphoto platform. It's just something that I believe in, that I use, and I use successfully. If I can, and I will show stats for all of our schools throughout the fall. I'm happy. You can see the ones that performed low, which still did great, or you can see the ones that performed high, which did even better, right? We got winter sports that we're doing. I'll just show this real quick before I end it. We did high school. What we did, so this is a high school job setup. This is winter sports. Typically, winter sports don't produce as well, as you probably know. So we brought 2 laptops to the shoot. It was me, another photographer. It was me and 2 other photographers. And basically what we did was we printed a blank QR card for every kid because I couldn't get the email and the cell phones. We asked for their parents' email. We logged them in with their access code. We asked for their parents' email and the parents' cell phone. And then we gave them the card, okay? And then we photographed them. So we registered them for them. All you do is need an internet connection, okay? Excuse me. You just put in the access code, put in their cell and their email, and then give them the card. So now the kid has access with the card. We really want the parents, right? Because a lot of times the kids will be like, ugh, oh my God, I hate it. And they'll like throw it away. Parents will never even see it. So we ask for the parents' email and cell phone, and we give the kid the card. This way, everyone's going to see this image, right? And we did upwards of $1,800 for our winner. We only had 75 kids, right? I mean, it was probably like a 45% buy rate, which isn't high. I don't know why I'm showing this, but it's albums for each different job, each different team, because they have the team photo embedded into the album. Anyway, that's kind of boring. I'll get rid of that. But so $1,700. I was there for just under 2 hours. All I did was crop the team photo and put the name of it on. It took me about an hour and imported it, right? So even if I put 4 hours on the job, we're still at like $300 an hour, which is where you kind of should be for volume photography, anywhere from 200 to 300, even more. Anyway, so I'm thrilled with that, right? And Richmond did everything. The prints went directly to them. I didn't even see it. Parents paid shipping, that in my hands. If there's a job that comes in that you really don't have time to mess around with, or you have other bigger jobs doing it, just send it out, right? Send it out. Send it out. Anything else? People need to get over the commission issue. Amen. Amen to that. Absolutely. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up right now, but please, 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 if you can, go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Okay, we're going to try and make this on a weekly basis. I'm going to have multiple photographers on almost every episode. I will be reaching out to a lot of people. Send me an email as well. Let's get together. Let's talk. Let's focus on a certain issue. But we want to keep growing this community as large as we can. Labs will get involved, whatever they need to do. The email is protipslive, MVP@gmail.com. protipslive, MVP@gmail.com. That's my movie phone voice. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end this broadcast. Let me know any questions. I'll post it below. Thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, whatever you need to do. It'll make me extremely happy. I love all y'all madly. We'll do this more often. Look out for it next week. I'll post a schedule, maybe, so you know that it's coming. Okay, you guys are great. Again, take care. Have a wonderful night. It's dark out already here in New Jersey. Oh, my God, it's late. All right, guys, I'll see you. Thanks again.